I saw a very touching video clip on Instagram of a lady crying and saying that it's been 5 years into motherhood and she's struggling. I thought the video was going to go in a different direction. I thought it was going to be a mother speaking about the struggles of motherhood, because we always assume it's this happy, or every woman is happy and I love being a mom. And the reality is that parenting is very difficult. Children get infections, children get sick, they throw tantrums. Sometimes they have to be hospitalized. Sometimes you struggle financially, and anything in between. You worry about your child and their health and their well-being, etc. And especially in the early days when you're up late at night and you're struggling to sleep and work. And I thought it was going in that direction. But then very quickly thereafter, she went and she was like, she's struggling because she's alone. And she made what I think is a false accusation, which I didn't really like, but it's fine. She went and she said it's sad that you have a child with another person. It takes two people to have a child, but one of those people have an option to not be a parent. And I'm saying this is not true, because the insinuation there is women have no choice but to be parents and men have a choice. And that's not true. Both parents either have no choice but to be parents, or they both have a choice. And I'm saying this because there are a lot of women who leave the children with the father. And you have single fathers out there. There are a lot of women who leave children with grandparents, whether from their side or the father's side. There's a lot. On top of that, there's a lot of women that drop children off at orphanages. Some throw their children away. And this is excluding all the women who opt to abort. So it can't just be like that. But look, I understand her struggles and her stresses, and she says she needs help. Part of what I was thinking about is society is never going to get better until we are genuine about the realities we live in. What I mean by that is, until women in particular are ready to have the conversation about why men rape, why men beat women, and why men abandon their children, it's not going to change. When women say things like it shouldn't matter, there's no excuse. No, that's not true. The reality is, once you can answer the why, you can then start hitting the core of the problem. As an example, why do men abandon their children? Part of it could be the fact that this man doesn't have money and he's ashamed. It's not a good reason, but it is a reason. And if you can resolve his money issues, he can then be a father, or be a hands-on father at least. Another one could be that this guy's married and he's got a family somewhere, and he wants to keep his distance from this outside child. It might break up his marriage, etc. However he understands it. The bottom line is, he has a why he has abandoned his child. And if you can resolve that why, he will be there for his child. Another one could be, he never wanted the child. He asked you to abort. He may have even given you money. And you chose to keep the child, and now you expect him to be there. I wrote a tweet before and I said, the way men abandon children, women abort children. And because men cannot abort, their form of abortion is to abandon the child. Women want to speak about, oh, it's my body, you can't tell me. But if a man is ready to be a father and you say you're not ready to be a mom, you have an option to opt out. He doesn't have an option to opt out when you decide to keep a child that he is not ready for. And again, until we are ready to discuss the why, we won't be able to resolve the issues. There are many men who are evil, who do bad things, who there's no real logical excuse and reason. But there are many decent men, knowledgeable, reasonable, rational men who have very valid excuses and reasons. And some of us, if we were to hear those excuses and reasons, we'd be able to help them. Some of the women out there, whether it's pregnancy hormones or whether it's just their personality, they are so vile and violent after they have a child. They are verbally and emotionally and psychologically abusive. And the man knows that if I'm here, this woman every day will remind me how useless I am, how little money I make, the fact that she never wanted to have a child with someone like me, and all these other things. Swear at me, shout at me, maybe even hit me. And I know that if I stay here, my mind will collapse and I will be depressed and I might harm myself, or I might end up harming her. Again, why did he hit her? No, it doesn't matter. It matters because if she was the one punching him, if she was the one trying to stab him, if she had just told him, I'm HIV positive and I just infected you, so you can die, that may explain why he lost his cool and he hit her. It is not right, but it explains why. And until we understand the why, we won't be able to resolve these real serious societal issues. So my plea to you guys today is, when you hear of things happening, especially for men, don't let people silence you from asking the questions. Oh, this is what happened to this girl. Where was she? Who was she with? What was she drinking or smoking? Did she go home with that guy? What did she say to that guy? Did he spend money on her? Because once you hear the answers to these things, we can then educate other girls. Don't let random strange men buy you drinks. Don't go home with strange men. Don't get drunk and intoxicated and wander around without a plan, because something may happen to you, because there are certain types of men out there. And the reason it happened to you is because of this. And if you can avoid this, that won't happen to you. Obviously, at the same time, we'll be educating men. Just because you bought a girl drinks, you are not entitled to her body. Don't go home with a girl that's drunk, because something may happen and you may find yourself in jail, etc., etc. So we just need to get to the crux of some of the social ills that we have. And until we're ready to address the why, we won't be able to resolve these things. Penny all the black pen.